Guys, if I had $1 for every time we were both sure and unsure about Black Widow's release schedule, I think I'd be a millionaire by now. I mean, goodness gracious. What's going on, you guys? James here with some real news that might make some fans either happy or sad. Guys, it sounds like we have our final definite plan for Black Widow's release. Now, I'm not saying I'm mad, but I'm not saying I'm very happy about this decision either. Now, before we get into that and some more delays for some major MCU titles, if it's your first time here at the channel, welcome to Real James, where we talk about news like this all the time. So if you like movies like I do, go ahead and hit the big red button below, subscribe to the channel, and tap on that bell so you'll be the first one in the comments. And speaking of the comments, guys, get loud below. Sound off. Are you happy about this decision, or are you upset that this film is being released the way it is? So you know what, guys, without any further ado, let's get into the news. It's coming via The Wrap's Beatrice Verhoeven, who writes that now Black Widow will release on July 9th, both in theaters and on Disney Plus Premier Access. And oh my goodness, guys, this is a huge deal because a lot of people speculated that this might be the case, but during Disney's shareholder meeting, we got some confirmation from Bob Chapek that we would see this film only in theaters, but now that is not the case, guys. We're seeing it released simultaneously in theaters and on Premier Access, which kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit, but we'll talk about that as we get further on into this video. But when you continue to dive into the article, we get more info from The Wrap, which also lists a delay for Shang Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. That movie is so darn anticipated by me. I want to see it so badly, but now, guys, we're expected to see it in theaters September 3rd after having been expected July 9th. And now I have to be honest with you guys, I'm not confident that Shang-Chi or The Eternals are going to be in theaters only. I think that we might now see them on Disney Plus Premiere, because this seems to be the trend for 2021. Moving beyond that, I'm not so sure. I don't think we see that with Spider-Man 3, clearly because of Sony working with Marvel Studios in that regard. But I am now very curious to see if we end up seeing all of these MCU titles for Phase 4 on Disney Plus Premiere and in theaters. There was some speculation that this Black Widow news would be coming though, because Disney CEO Bob Chapek also said that the release of Black Widow would be a last-minute decision. And when I heard that, guys, my hope for it only being released in theaters was pretty much washed away. There seems to be a trend here. We had Raya and the Last Dragon released both on Disney Plus Premier Access and in theaters, but I'm wondering if the numbers are suggesting at least some sort of optimism from not only shareholders but from the studio itself, because if they continue to make these big landmark moves, guys, I'm starting to wonder, okay, maybe they are seeing a return on their investment in Disney Plus Premiere. But I have to be honest, I don't think that if we were in a non-pandemic type of year that this would be the smartest move. And hey, who knows? Maybe Disney Plus Premier Access won't be where we find most MCU titles after this year anyway, because the vaccine's rolling out and New York and LA based theaters are starting to reopen, as well as Regal and Cineworld, I believe the name is. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but we're starting to see even more theaters reopen in big cities. And if that's the case, I can't just see Marvel alienating their revenue. I think that they'll want to get more from the box office than they would from Disney Plus Premier Access. Now, within the article, there wasn't a price that was listed for Black Widow, but I will anticipate that it'll be $29.99 US dollars like the other titles that were released on Disney Plus Premiere. It just makes sense, $30, but as someone who is not married yet and also doesn't have a family yet, I can't tell you I'm going to sit down and spend $30 on that. And I think I share the same sentiments with a lot of people who are either single, not married, or don't have a family in general. But I can put myself in the shoes of parents to have a 4 or 5 person household, and that $30 price point is probably very sweet, especially given the fact that we are still in a pandemic. So I understand why they would want to shift this to Disney Plus, but I just gotta sound off, guys. I'm upset a little bit because there's so much back and forth with this film. It's only hurt the hype for this movie. Am I still excited for this film? Yes, but marginally. I was very excited at the beginning of the year, and last year I was super hyped for Black Widow, but I'm seeing less and less people kind of get excited for this film, and I think it's because Disney and Marvel Studios haven't committed to anything, and that's really frustrating. And I think their non-committal approach to this release schedule is just burning out fans. I mean, guys, we just got another delay for Black Widow. Like, are you kidding me? This is happening so much more often, and it seems like that this will stick. July 9th, in theaters, Disney Plus Premiere, that simultaneous release seems to be the direction they'll go, because there would be no reason to delay this movie again, because they're banking on the fact that, hey, if theaters aren't open in your area, you'll spend $30 anyway. And I get it, but at the same time, as someone who does love that movie-going experience, I would have preferred if they would have just stuck with what they announced during the Disney shareholder meeting. That would have been perfect for me. But instead, we get a delay and we get this shared release. In looking at the release calendar for this year, I do see that November 5th is still holding strong for Eternals. Now, I'm not so sure if that will stick, especially with Shang Chi moving to September. And if Shang Chi has to go ahead and shift again, we're seeing the Eternals get delayed to next year. I'm seeing a lot of things get pushed back, guys, and I know we're starting to get out of this pandemic little by little with vaccines being rolled out, praise God, but it is a little frustrating for someone who wants to see these movies in theaters, right? Once we're all vaccinated, once we're able to safely return to the theater experience, I think this is going to be the norm. And it's unfortunate to say, but we're going to start seeing titles get released in theaters and on Disney Plus Premier Access because it's just extra revenue without going through a second or third party for Disney. And I love when this happens, guys, but just as I'm recording this, more breaking news regarding Disney Pixar's Luca. It will now release on June 18th on Disney Plus at no extra cost. I think that's the way to go. If you're going to put it only on Disney Plus, don't put it behind a paywall. Try to get as many eyes on it as possible. But with Soul being put on Disney Plus, no charge. With Luca being put on Disney Plus, no charge. Are we going to start to see Disney Pixar films being put on Disney Plus at no charge? That would be insane, honestly, because I can't imagine that they wouldn't want a theater experience in 2022 and beyond. But guys, there you have it. We got some MCU delays, big Black Widow news, Pixar news, all in one video. So if you enjoyed everything that you just heard and saw, guys, go ahead and hit the big red button below, subscribe to the channel, and tap on that bell so you don't miss out on updates just like this. Smash that like button if you haven't already, and get loud in the comments and let me know what your thoughts are on all these release date changes, these delays, and Disney Pixar's Luca finally coming to Disney Plus. We got a release date, y'all. I'm excited for that film already. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you at the next screening.